Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I am Jordan D. White from my basement.
Welcome to your basement.
Thank you.
Well, and thanks for coming back again. I don't think we asked you yesterday, so it's a good thing you were available.
Yeah.
But
I
assumed too much.
Oh, no, I'm assuming that I'm going to be here for the rest of the movie, so that's fine.
Oh, good. In your basement.
Oh, yeah.
Today we're talking about minute 64 of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. 64 starts with Poe asking Finn and Rose, where are you guys? Hey, where are you guys? And it ends with DJ saying Codebreaker. Is that correct? Did he say Codebreaker? Or is he just, I think he's pointing at himself. He's like, Codebreaker.
Now you've got me confused. Yeah, something like that.
When DJ starts talking.
DJ, he talks with his hands, like Terminator X. He's a DJ.
Oh.
No,
I was like, they made 10 of those movies?
Yes, we got...
Return to Canto Bight.
Where are you guys? Turns out they're at Canto Bight. And again, I forgot that they had been arrested already. It would be fun for him to be like, God, Finn, Rose, where are you guys? And they're just like, woo! They're like by the pool with like,
drinking cocktails.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what kind of sea grape coladas or something like that.
They're betting on the races.
I like to bring in the giant Pete Alex sea grapes are my.
That's right.
We. After a brief moment of just kind of like wistfully saying like, okay, here's goodbye to the space chase, and we go back to Canto Bight, and I looked up. I tried to find information on the cops here, the specific cops. I know we've got some information about the cops as an institution on Canto Bight and their armor and their clothes. But I was like, well, who are these guys specifically? And usually a good trick for finding something out about a character in Star Wars is to take something that they say and then, type it in quotes and put Wikipedia after it. And you end up with... But really the only thing that they say here is deal me in. And the problem with this scene being set on a casino planet is that you get a million different things because there was a book of short stories or a book of novellas about Canto Bight and that... And basically anything involving Canto Bight, somebody's saying deal me in. And so I was not able to find specific information about these cops.
Oddly, the visual dictionary shows pictures of two cops and identifies them by name, but it doesn't seem to be the cops we see here. They don't look like them. And also, I can't find any information about the actors who played the cops that are in the visual dictionary. I put in their names and nothing comes up other than their Wikipedia entries do not say what the actors are. Very. You think it's because they're police? They're trying to keep it like secure because they don't want to reveal their real names or anything.
Right. They don't want anybody.
They'd be in danger. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I did find out that apparently there's two branches of the Canto Bight police. There's the uniform branch, which are exactly. These are their stories. It's there's the uniform branch, which are I think these guys. They're the kind of ones walking around, and then there's the CBMP, the Canto Bight Mounted Police, who are the ones that we see a little later on their little the flying. They fly now. But neither one of those had any information on who plays them, anything like that. But so this is a mystery.
Well, I assume that means they are all super famous people, and they're hiding that fact. So this is probably the three most famous people in the entire film.
It's probably like Kathleen Kennedy's brother and Ryan Johnson's aunt, and so on.
That's funny.
So we cut back into the cell where Rose is thankfully recapping the plot for Finn's benefit.
Yeah, it's a bit of exposition that we didn't really need there, especially because we just came from it.
But we don't need it, but DJ needs it because DJ has to overhear them saying that in order for him to get involved in the story. So I guess it makes sense in that case. But
so DJ, so DJ is another character that I've heard some people absolutely hate. And I don't mean in the way that you're supposed to, because he does some bad things. I mean in the I don't like that he's on the screen kind of way. I think he's fun enough. He's not my favorite part of the movie, but I think he's got some fun bits in there. One of the three when I was on the comics, I worked on 3 prequel-y things for this movie, and one of them was a one shot about DJ, and that was a lot of fun. It was a one shot about how he ended up in this cell. And it was fun because it's Ben Acker and Ben Blacker, you know those guys.
Sure. Former guests of the show.
Yep. Writing a fun romp about casino heists and outsmarting mob bosses and this and that. And then in the end, I think again there was a cut scene or a line in the script, one of the two that they told us about, where he said something like that he was only in here because it's the only place that he could get some decent sleep around here, that he was there on purpose. And so we definitely rolled with that and did that. And it was a good time. I thought it was a fun thing. Now, that said, we did that entire one shot, or at least, if not all of it, most of it, before we ever saw the movie. So we didn't know his performance would be quite the strange thing that it was. They did say to us, he does some stuttering. We were like, oh, all right. But we didn't. Yeah, I didn't envision it this way for sure. It took me by surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the character DJ a lot, and I do not care for Benicio del Toro's performance. That's the thing. I like the character kind of as written. I like the idea of it, but I feel like, and I like Benicio del Toro in other things, but I do not care for his performance as DJ
because of the stutter,
partially, but also just there's a couple of other things. There's one or two things that I do like. I feel like he does do well. I guess it's mostly the stutter because it seems like I don't know, but there are another he's cartooning it up. In not just with the stutter, but also where there's a couple of kind of mugs where he's like, kind of in a way that, we'll point to them as they go. But there are a couple of things that I do like the way that he said, he's got one of his more famous lines later I think is really well done. But there's a lot that I don't like in his performance as DJ. I'll say it at that. We'll get more into this because in this minute he's fine still. He's great. He's this. Yeah. Well, wacky guy that they meet.
I will say though, I mean, you're right. His performance is over the top. And even in this minute where we've seen very little of him, it still is like the whole thing of there's a less cartoony, like you put it. There's a less cartoony version of doing the line of I couldn't help but overhear the stuff you were saying so loudly while I was trying to sleep. He definitely does it in a very you could do this scene with a laugh track and it would not seem out of place.
Right.
So there you are. But I think that's fun. And so his name is DJ. It's never said in the film, I believe.
That's true. Yeah. They don't do that.
It's based on his hat, AKA also his slogan, which is "Don't join."
Right.
Which I actually say, so again, spoiler, because I don't think we see his hat in this moment. I think we see it in the next minute. I know some people hate that too. People, I mean, I guess realistically, any aspect of a Star Wars movie you can name, somebody hates it. But
well,
I've seen people complain about that. I'm usually, this movie just didn't bother me. I liked it so much that his performance is weird and it's not my favorite part of the movie, but it's good. The whole thing, that's the other thing about this movie. The whole other controversial part of this movie is that the traditional hero narratives have all been flipped on their head. What you expect from a Star Wars movie is that the Poe idea and the Rose and Finn idea will of course pay off. They go against orders and they do the heroic I'm the only one who knows best thing, and it of course it happens. They do it at the last minute. Everybody is thankful they saved everyone, and the end. And this movie flips that on its head and goes, no, the people acting against orders and risking everything risked everything and lost most of it. Great. And that is a new thing in many ways to the Star Wars universe, and that's why I like it. But I tell you what, I say in many ways, not in all ways, because that's one of the things I really liked about Clone Wars, the TV show, is that Clone Wars...
Not the wars themselves.
No, not the actual wars. The wars themselves are tragic, absolutely tragic. But the actual show, Clone Wars, one of the things I loved about it was that it plays with this idea a little bit in the kind of the opposite direction by going, guess what? Our main character is or sometimes main character, our main character is a hero who goes his own way and doesn't quite follow orders and risks everything. And he's totally the good guy of this series. And then right after the series ends, he murders a bunch of children because of those same reasons. Yeah. Because he doesn't follow orders and he didn't do it right and he this and that and the other thing. So
technically he was following orders when he murdered the children. So,
right, but not the Jedi orders.
He's consistent.
One order in particular. Yeah.
Right. Yes, you're right. But you know what I mean. Yeah, he wasn't doing the hero thing that he was supposed to be doing. Like, again, Obi-Wan's like, no, we've got to do it this way. And it's like, no, I'm rebellious. I'll do whatever I want, including murder everybody if I have to.
Yeah.
So I do like that this flips that. I understand why that makes people uncomfortable, but I also feel like, again, sometimes I think that people, there's a very modern, and by modern, I don't mean modern, the movement, I mean current. There's a very, in pop culture currently, there's a lot of media awareness, and I would almost say too much media and narrative awareness, like the constant reviewing of tropes and like, oh, it's this, and then it's this, and then it's that, all of that stuff. And I feel like everybody's too savvy for their own good, but then it even goes further than that. So like,
it becomes cynicism.
Yes, it becomes cynicism, which by the way ruins everything. But also it like they'll go so far into trying to be cynical that then I feel like they go back around again and are wrong. Like bad things have to happen in stories so that good things can happen later.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a fun and different way to have them fail miserably so that then they can succeed. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing as the Luke thing. Luke is at his low point so he can then rise up to heights again. I'm not going to lie. Again, this is a trick. You expect that Poe's risky maneuver will pay off, but it doesn't, so that it can have a even lower point than you expected, but so that it can then rise up again. That is still going to be the thing. They're going to win. If episode 9 ended with everybody, with the good guys losing, then you'd have an argument, but that's the end of it. You got to wait till the story's over. It's the same complaint of people who were unhappy at the end of Empire, right? Like Empire is a bummer of an ending, but that's so that they can then go and win later.
And also, I guess most people have been living with Empire and Jedi being out more or less at the same time. Like, if you grew up past 1983, you just think of Empire as basically the part before Return of the Jedi. So it's
This is something I experience a lot in comics because we release our issues a month after each other. So there are times when we'll put out a comic where something happens and people freak out. And it's like, guys, there's another issue in 30 days.
Yeah.
I have a feeling something related to what you're mad about will be addressed.
Don't worry, Madeline Pryor doesn't have those powers forever.
She turns out to be created by the Goblin King. Wasn't something like that?
Yeah. It's complicated. Listen, it's funny you mentioned Madeline because people are very mad at me about Madeline Pryor right now. So, because we killed her and said we're not bringing her back, and they are very unpleased about that.
Wow. Well, here's something I'm not upset about. I like the fact that the Canto Bight jail is old school bars. I think in sci-fi movies we're tending to see, force fields as the kind of default thing. But it got me wondering, is there a cell in every Star War? So in A New Hope, we see Princess Leia's in a cell.
Sure.
Empire, Luke,
Han and Leia.
Leia, Han, and Chewbacca are all in a cell. Jedi, Han, and Chewie are in a cell.
At the beginning, yeah.
Episode 1, I'm not so sure.
Well, what's your definition of a cell?
Is someone being detained against their will in a room
slaves.
Designed? But I mean, there's a room specifically designed to hold someone so that they can't escape.
Well, I was gonna could you say that the pink energy doors that keep Obi-Wan from is that a cell?
No, I would not say that. I would not call that a cell.
It's just nonsense technology.
No. So no cells in.
I got to think on it. There might be.
Attack of the Clones. We see Obi-Wan in that force field. He's being suspended in that force field. Sith. This is a great thing to bring up because people who are at home and go, oh, well, there's that scene where this happens, and we're all like, I don't know. Is there?
People love it. They love it.
Anyway, something to think about.
Sith. Oh, wait. There's got to be one in Sith, right?
You would think.
I don't know.
Well, the Palpatine is restrained in a chair. Not the same thing.
Not the same.
Yeah.
And they don't get locked up again, so maybe not.
Yeah. It's more of a take no prisoners kind of movie.
Rogue One has a cell. No.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. A couple of them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's right. A bunch.
In the beginning, Jin is...
Well, I was thinking, that's what I thought at first, but then I was like, no, she's in a transport, though, isn't she? But you're right, she's in both.
Before that, yeah.
But also, and then, they're in a cell when they go to Saw
Gerrera's house.
Yeah.
And then Solo?
Saw cell.
Saw cell.
Solo. Surely someone was in a jail cell at that. I mean, there was slaves. But
when Han meets Chewie, again, he's thrown into the pit. It's a cell.
All right,
Pit counts. Pit counts. So just one movie without a cell.
What about Rise of Skywalker?
Oh, wait. And also, we couldn't remember Sith. Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, because Chewie did they go rescue Chewie? Is he not in a cell when they rescue him? I can't remember the
where
specifics,
they find him.
but they...
Anyway, we'll find out in 2 years.
Yes.
But I like the fact that these are bars as opposed to a force field.
Yes.
And I guess, now that I didn't even think about that at all. And as I think about it, I'm like, well, why wouldn't they be force fields? And the answer is because they want him to reach around it in the next scene. Spoiler.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Right. Although he could have done something, he could have had like a little gimmick in his hat to be like bzz, and short out the thing, but it's more fun. This is like, totally more of a callback or an homage to not a specific movie that I know of, but that kind of trope of westerns and kind of noir films of that kind of meeting the person in prison, kind of a thing.
And so I missed. I think he has a quick cameo later, but I missed the you guys talking about the Master Codebreaker. Do you guys hate that or do you guys like that?
I wasn't crazy about
it. Okay.
I wasn't crazy about it because A, it was supposed to be a giant insect warlord originally, and that would have been cooler to see. And B, the fact that it was a guy who they just gave a cameo literally the day before they started shooting. Like, hey, you want to come on and be a guy? Like that, But
right.
But Pete, you said you didn't recognize him as a celebrity cameo, so for you that wasn't a big deal.
Right. Yeah, I didn't. I am blissfully unaware of stuff like that usually, and so I'm now in anything else that I see him in, I'm like, oh, it's the Master Codebreaker.
I remember that being showed to me, the idea of him in the walkthrough that they gave us of this movie, and that being sort of a funny bit. They were like, they're going to meet this Master Codebreaker, and he's only ever referred to as Master Codebreaker because they don't actually find him. They don't get to him. I
do like that aspect of it, the bait and switch kind of a thing, where you think it's going to be, my expectations once again being undermined. I have a question, 2 questions relating to someone being arrested. Well, one of them is, does Finn have an ID? I assume once they got busted, the first thing they would do is ask for some kind of identification, and I assume Finn's only ID. Did the Resistance issue him one when he?
Not enough time has not passed. I wouldn't think he does. Like he just joined the Resistance and then immediately got injured and was spent any time that has passed since then, which is not much, in a back to bag or whatever you call it.
Although maybe before he left, maybe he might even have Poe's ID still in his pocket.
Right.
In his,
Yeah, they're like, Poe Dameron. Brown eyes.
Yeah, you're that hotshot pilot from Yavin 4.
That's pretty good.
I'm assuming that there's not physical ID. Oh, there is. I don't know.
Code cylinders.
Yeah, I guess so. Because they
That's
do.
the-
The
that's the only
stormtroopers
ID
do
I've seen.
ask Ben and Luke to see their identification.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
So maybe it is a code cylinder kind of a thing.
Yeah,
that they're
because
looking
in
for.
Rebels, we get to see them use code cylinders quite a bit. Like
Hmm.
they pull them out and they like stick them in little terminals
Right.
to like get access
Yeah.
to doors and stuff.
And second of all, I don't understand how BB-8 got where he is. Last time we saw him, they were all being arrested at Canto Bight Casino,
But they threw him down the stairs.
but kept the humans.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
BB-8 made his way to the Canto Bight prison from the.
was he
Mhm.
with them, or was he just
Yeah.
around about?
No, they show them picking him up and walking out with him.
Oh,
Right.
But then you said they show him
they
being
throw him
thrown
down
out.
the stairs. Yeah.
right.
So
And
he
so,
that
manages to
doesn't
work
make a
his
lot
way
of sense,
back in.
you're right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Why
And
would
also-
they throw the droid away?
And also, why droids can just come and go into the jail with no.
Well, he's
with
probably
impunity?
sneaking in. Yeah.
He's like,
But
a
I mean, they
secret
must
agent.
have. If I'm running a jail, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure no droids can sneak in here and bring someone out. So
Yeah,
anyway.
when you're not playing poker.
Oh yeah, there are a bunch of gambling degenerates on that planet.
I don't think they have a lot of problems with like serious crime here, other than like
Other than DJ.
other than people kind of pulling scams. And they don't have like violent criminals on here, so it's not really that big of a deal. That
actually,
somebody-
I would say the opposite. They have lots of violent criminals, but they are on their payroll.
Right.
Because again, they have like lots of mafia stuff going on in this place.
Right.
But
Mhm.
these guys are all on the take.
so all the other people that's important. The people that you would need higher security for, they all know not to mess with the system here.
Got it. All right.
So this is just kind of a like, oh, we'll throw them in there and they'll.
But it does make me wonder why they didn't bring the droid in. And I get the only thing I can think of is they were like, this guy's heavy, it's too much paperwork, forget it, and they just threw him down. And they didn't think he'd be a big
I don't
deal.
think. Can you arrest a droid?
I don't know.
They're just
I was
doing
gonna
what
say,
they
no,
were
but just-
told to
Well, they
do.
would impound the droid.
Yeah.
But they didn't
I
do
guess.
that
Yeah.
either.
Right.
Oh man, I wish we had seen the I guess the Jawa sandcrawler is kind of like what the impound lot would look like. All these depressed droids hanging around.
It could have been a good opportunity for a CZ3 cameo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
It could have been like, I've been here for 40 years.
Ooh.
I had a question about the
Yes.
scene.
Let's hear
And
it.
my question is, what? Because I love what is a very Star Wars, what gets said a lot in Star Wars, as we know.
Yeah.
And here we it's just what?
What?
Like it's three of them in a row. And it's good. I like when
Watts.
it's not wasted dialogue, but I like frivolous, fun dialogue like that.
It does seem like a very modern thing. A very modern
Right.
that kind of, I don't know. Think about Jedi and the original Star Wars had some goofy lines like that.
I like it.
Well, that's all I have for 64.
Sure. Well, I'll complain some more about DJ tomorrow, I'm sure.
Uh-oh.
And spoiler alert, I'm going to start complaining about BB-8 also a little bit from here on in.
Whoa.
So as much as
boy.
America's sweetheart BB-8, I'm gonna have some complaints. So we'll
You don't like
Making
his
it
machine
bumpy
then.
from
Okay.
here on out.
We'll see what happens.
Well, that's Jordan, can you come back tomorrow for one more episode? I know you're
One more.
we do Alex, I don't know if he told you this, but we did lock you in the basement. You are trapped, and so you're gonna have to be there anyway. So
Unless you happen to have a master code breaker with you. But we'll find that out.
There's somebody
Yeah.
sleeping over there who can do it, I'm sure. So.
Shh, wake him up.
But hey, if you at home want to, you think you can, I don't know, I'm trying to come up with a good kind of transition, a good segue here, but I can't do it. If you can do it, why not call 8-Day Greedo? And you can leave us a message. We started playing them again. I fixed some technical problems, and hey, you can leave us a short little blip message. If it's short and funny, it's most likely to get played on the show. And maybe you'll hear yours on the next Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.